Welcome back to the channel and the next video in our series covering our 5-state, 2,800 mile road trip in our Grand Design Imagine. Just opened the blinds for the morning and it looks like we got a visitor. Apparently we don't have to venture very far to see the wildlife. That is right there. That is so cool.
The dog's growling.
Wow.
Bark, 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 and then back up.
It's day 7 of our trip, our first full day at Yellowstone, and the plan today is to go down and explore the West Thumb area. It's about 22 miles from Fishing Bridge here. Started out kind of cold and wet this morning, but it's clearing up. High today is going to be around 55, 56 degrees, so we're off. The West Thumb Geyser Basin sits in the southeast corner of the Park Loop Road and right on the west shore of Yellowstone Lake. Here you can see geysers, mud pots, and hot springs, including the famous Abyss Pool and the Fishing Cone Geyser. At Fishing Cone Geyser back in the day, tourists would catch fish from the lake, then they'd bring them over to the geyser and cook the fish over the hot steam while they're still on the hook. Did you read that? This is, if you read anything this entire trip, this is the line you need to read.
Ooh, wow.
20 people have been burned.
Scalded, not just burned, scalded to death.
Yeah. Yes.
Hundreds more badly
What
burned.
they're talking about is walking.
Turns out those warnings are for real. In fact, we later learned that it was in this very area of the West Thumb Basin that one of those deaths occurred just a couple months prior to our trip. That foot they found floating in the Abyss Pool was found to belong to a 70-year-old man from California, and the circumstances of his death are still unknown. All right, we just came home to this, and my heart is in my stomach right now because this is not good. What is going on?
You know, I wouldn't even mind coming back here for a visit sometime. Yeah.
I don't even know where this is coming from. We got some problems.
Don't you think we should tell them that?
It's coming up from the toilet. I don't even know.
Would the toilet be full? The toilet's just constantly running.
It got clogged. There was a bunch of toilet papers and stuff in there, and it was running. All right, we got some major cleanup to go on. I don't even know how or why it was running.
No, that's weird.
So I don't know if I can drop this whole underbelly cover. What I might do is actually slice into it so it can drain and then come back and patch it later. This is a mess. Oh, I hate doing this.
No. No. You leave toast.
Yeah, like I thought, I'm not gonna be able to drop this entire underbelly right now. So basically what I did was cut a couple spots in the lowest hanging area to let that water drain and just do our best to clean up inside. When I'll get home, I'll completely drop the underbelly, let it dry out. But what a mess. I'm glad we were only gone for an hour and a half, not longer. All right, now that I've had a chance to calm down, I'll explain what happened. Basically, our nephew, who's never used an RV toilet before, used it and didn't flush all the way, so a bunch of toilet paper got stuck at the bottom of the toilet and kept the valve open, which kept the toilet running. The toilet paper clogged the toilet and it overflowed, creating the mess it did. Got it mostly cleaned up. Hopefully with the underbelly out when we get home, it can all dry up and we don't have any water damage. I'll show you how this happened. Toilet gets used, toilet paper goes in, toilet paper gets stuck. With that valve open, toilet keeps running even if your foot is not on the pedal. Toilet paper clogged the toilet, water overflowed. Here's a little update on our water situation. Now I am filming this a couple days after the actual incident. I'm just gonna splice it into the video. So right after this happened, after we did the initial cleanup, I got on a Facebook group. There's a group for Imagine owners and asked for some advice. Also asked for information on how this floor was laid out, because my initial expectation was that I was going to find a bunch of wet, matted insulation under the floor. So my two immediate concerns were, what do I do with wet insulation? And then also I might have wet floorboards to deal with. And basically what I found out, I had another 2400 BH owner reach out, and he actually had just taken his underbelly all apart, and there is no insulation underneath the floors in these. It's just a one-piece reflective blanket, he said, and it's not affected by water. So he said there's really nothing to worry about there. Just do the best that I could to drain it out and get a dehumidifier and a fan in there and just try to dry everything out as much as we could. So a couple lessons learned from this one. Number one, when you have a guest staying with you, teach them how an RV toilet works. He had been with us on a few trips in the past, and I just assumed that he knew how it worked, but apparently he didn't know that you had to fill the bowl up with water first, and that helps flush it. And the result was some flooding. The second thing, we're gonna now get in the habit, every time we leave for an extended period of time, we're shutting the water off. Why not? It takes seconds and it's a good safeguard in case something goes wrong while you're away.